So you are thinking about making a move to Minneapolis, Minnesota, huh? Well, my friends, you are in luck. We have a good one for you today. I am coming to you from Wayzata, Minnesota, which is just 11 miles straight west of downtown Minneapolis. This city has been called the jewel of Lake Minnetonka. It's set up to enjoy lake life. And today I am going to take you for a walk right down Main Street and show you what it's all about. All right, so I am coming to you today from Wayzata Beach, which is actually at the west end of Wayzata, and we're gonna keep this video pretty simple today, guys. There is a lot to cover in Wayzata. It is a super cool community. So today, for the purposes of this video, we are just gonna go from a stroll from west to east, right down Main Street, Wayzata. We're gonna get some other videos touching more on other points of interest, some of the real estate, some of those things, but man, Lake Street, which is the main drag right through Wayzata, has so much to offer. There's so much to see. We just thought we'd start off right from there. So we're gonna get going here. We're gonna move from west to east down Wayzata Beach, or starting at the Wayzata Beach Park, which, as you can see behind me today, is busy. We got lots of kids, parents hanging out, enjoying this beautiful Minnesota summer day. And we're just gonna take a walk, show you some cool stores, the sights, the sounds, Wayzata, and we're gonna get after it right now. And hey, if this is your first time to our channel, thank you very much for stopping in. We appreciate it. My name is Chris, my business partner Trevor, the team. We like to get out into Minneapolis, Wayzata, all these surrounding communities, show you guys the real estate, show you what life is like in the Great North. So if you have not already, please consider subscribing. Bang that bell below. That way we can keep you up to date on what's going on in Wayzata, Minneapolis, and all these other cool places around here. So if you can't tell already, Wayzata is all about that quintessential Minnesota lake life. At least for me, when I think the rest of the country thinks about Minnesota and our 10,000 lakes and lake life, places like Wayzata come to mind. Population, and like I mentioned, we're gonna stick pretty minimal to, you know, numbers and statistics and real estate today. I just really want to show you guys the area, but just some basics. Population of Wayzata is about 4,500. It is served by the Wayzata School District, which is ranked #1 pretty consistently in the state by various websites. But again, population of 4,500, so it's got a really small towny kind of feel to it, but it's anything but small town. Wayzata really blends luxury, and I mean luxury, high-end amenities with great walkability and a small town feel. Like, you will see the same people on the street day in and day out. You can kind of get to know people. Personally, this is absolutely one of my most favorite places to go and just kind of hang out on a Saturday or an evening, maybe something like that. So we're starting our tour here. We're going to be moving right now eastward towards downtown Wayzata. I'm just going to turn this camera around here because just over my shoulder here, we've got this big building that's got two fantastic restaurants in there I want to call out. One in particular is SixSmith. Let me tell you a little nugget about SixSmith. So every Friday they do this thing called Fat Pants Friday, and it's 15 bucks. This does not work with the rest of my personality, but we'll let it slide here. For $15, you get a 3,000 plus calorie absolute freaking monstrosity. These guys come up with some crazy stuff, but kind of a cool little fun thing on Fridays. They call it Fat Pants Friday because that's what you end up if you eat here every Friday. But SixSmith is a really cool, really trendy place, banging on the weekends. And a little bit farther down is going to be Macanda, which is going to be an upscale kind of Mexican restaurant. Both have outdoor seating. As you can see, both are right on the water. Both are two of Wayzata's best places to hang out. Well, of course, as luck would have it, Macanda is currently closed for some renovation, so I can't show you guys inside of there today. But I think you can begin to see the idea. And people from all over Lake Minnetonka will hop on their boat, power on over to Wayzata for the day. There's lots of docking options, public options. You can drive right up to the restaurant, hop off the boat, jump in for some great food, and get back on the boat. That's really one of the big draws to this area. Again, the whole lake life. So next, we're going to head right over to the Wayzata Depot. I believe was original to 1906. Used to be a railway station, kind of a cool landmark on the main drag. So I'm going to show you that, and we're going to continue on from there. So behind me is the Wayzata Railway Depot, Great Northern Railway Station turned museum. It's just kind of one of these interesting points in Wayzata. Like I said, it's a museum and it's also become a park. Almost all of Wayzata's lakefront has been very well thought out and developed to frankly maximize the exposure to this body of water. They do it very well. But great place for children's activities, things like that. One of the coolest things about this place, I got two little boys myself, and every so often they have this very elaborate outdoor train model set up, and they will run trains on it pretty regularly. So we like to come down here, watch the trains. There's also real trains that run through Wayzata as well, just so you know. But just one of these points of interest along the way to check out. All right, so we're gonna get off this waterfront just a little bit and start moving down Main Street. And I told you guys this video is gonna be about the main streets, the sights and sounds of Wayzata, but I'm not gonna walk right by a piece of real estate that's for sale and not say anything. So you can see these high-end condos over here behind me, and there is a ground level unit, just to give you an idea of prices. There is a ground level unit in there, 2 bedroom, 3 bath, about 2,000 square feet can be yours for the low price of $2 million. What you're paying for is the location, the high-end amenities, the walkabilities. You are 100 yards off the lake. So again, I'm not gonna walk right by a piece of real estate for sale and at least not mention it. All right, so we are moving east to west through downtown Wayzata on Lake Street. Downtown Wayzata is really about 3 things, guys. It is about dining. Great dining options. We'll highlight a few of them in this video. Shopping, and when I say shopping, I mean boutique shopping. There is no Target, Walmart, probably no big retailer you're familiar with. You're gonna find a lot of very little boutique style shops. A lot of them will be very high end. They will be very nice. And the third thing downtown Wayzata is really about is various activities, points of interest. We just talked about the depot. The new lake walk is another one. We're gonna have that coming up. A few different parks. But that's really what downtown Wayzata life is all about, and it's a great blend of urban convenience, small town feel with that lake right on your doorstep. Interestingly enough, just talking about the real estate a little bit more, there is a very high percentage of empty nesters that live in Wayzata simply because of the attractive lifestyle that it offers. You can get by with one vehicle, you can walk to everything, and it's just a great place to be. So just an interesting note about the real estate downtown Wayzata. So just over my shoulder is going to be Gianni's. Definitely a Wayzata institution. If you were to pull the greater Twin Cities area on places for a white tablecloth steak dinner, I think Gianni's would be on just about everybody's list. Downtown Wayzata, right on the waterfront, you can't go wrong. Directly across the street from that, which is where we are now, is going to be Plaza Park. And you can see the big Adirondack chairs, the tables. Again, all setting up to take in the spectacular lakefront view. And you can see how the city itself almost encourages their residents and visitors to pull up a chair and just sit down and relax and take a bite of that lake life for a while. So we are at the intersection of Broadway and Lake. And you can see the newly finished boardwalk here behind me. We're going to get to that shortly. But Broadway and Lake is dead center, smack dab in the middle of downtown Wayzata. One of these areas we wanted to kind of show you guys real quick because it's pretty neat. 2 really cool places to eat right here. One of them, which you're going to be seeing right on my right, is Cove, kind of a coastal themed eatery. They have another location in Edina. If you've seen some of our videos on Edina, I think there's 2 or 3 of them around the metro. Cove is a great place for happy hour. Outdoor seating, as you can see, right on the lake. One of these places, again, that's going to be very, very busy the weekend kind of nights. And it's kind of a cool little spot, just to be honest. This area where I'm walking, Wayzata is definitely an affluent community. The 55391 zip code, you are going to find some of the most expensive real estate in the state. And with that comes some other cool things like homes. But particularly right in this little area, if you were here on a Friday or Saturday night, this is where the valet will pull in these crazy cool cars that you see in places like Miami and LA. And frankly, if you're from Minnesota, you just don't get to see that often. So, we get excited about it. And directly across the street is going to be McCormick's Irish pub, just what it sounds like, right on the corner. Again, great place to sit, do some people watching, and just take in all the Wayzata has to offer. All right, we are continuing on our merry way downtown Wayzata on Lake Street. And I am passing by Timber and Tulip, which you can see just off to my right. Super cool store. This is a great example of kind of what Wayzata brings as far as boutique shopping. All custom stuff. Officially a furniture store, but they do a lot of high-end interior design work, customizable products, all made here in Minnesota from various wood products. Just a really good example of kind of the unique boutique shop that you're going to find on Lake Street in Wayzata. So Monique's is another one of these kind of cool boutiques you will find on Lake Street in Wayzata. I have gotten to know Monique a little bit. She is a character. We are going to poke inside and say hello and see what Monique has to say today. All right, this is my friend Monique, who is the owner of Monique's Boutique on Lake Street in Wayzata. She has been here for 15 years. Monique, what do you like about Wayzata?
Okay, number one is Monique of Switzerland.
Monique of Switzerland.
And what do I love about Wayzata? As I said before, I just love a small feeling of a small town. And I imagine this Matterhorn right behind those buildings up there, because I'm from Zurich in Switzerland, but Switzerland is a very small country. So I have that country feel. I want a personal relationship with my customers. That's the way I've built my business. 50 years of it so far. My son is a wholesale diamond broker. If you take a picture over here, that's my son. 20 years in the business, me 50 years in the business. We have the expertise to do exactly what you want at a price that is affordable, not Wayzata pricing, because guess what? You get to deal with me, and I have the best prices in town.
What have you seen change in all the time that you've been on Main Street in Wayzata over the years?
It's not as small town as it was when I moved here 15 years ago. Okay, so it's going to be more popular. We have the sidewalk now down there where people can go and walk along the, so it's everything is growing, So, and business, it's getting better and better and better.
So tell us a little bit about your business and what makes it unique.
Okay, so I started my business in 1976 when I came over here from Switzerland, but my first store was downtown Minneapolis, 808 Jewelry. And if you want to trace me back, that far back, Nicollet Mall. And I started doing custom design because nobody did custom design in 1980. And I started doing it in 1980. And we continue doing that. And now things are a little bit easier because we have displays. We can just take diamonds, put them on a ring. You can try them on. My son is a wholesale diamond broker. We do mostly custom design. In other words, when you come here, you get exactly what you want. You don't have to buy what I have, but you get what you want, and you get it at a good price, because that's the way I built my business, personal connection, and best deals. I always want to give the best deals, so we are competing with the internet.
How much longer do you think you're going to be here?
Probably another 15 years.
Perfect. Thank you for showing us your store.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, gang, as we start creeping up on the eastern edge of town here, going to be close to the end of Main Street. There's a lot more to show you than we've shown you in this video. But when you have a town that looks like this, on a waterfront that looks like this, it begs the question, why wouldn't you want to get people out and enjoy it? And Wayzata certainly does do a really good job of that. They have 3 major events. They have more, but just 3 I'm going to highlight for the purposes of this video, just to kind of tell you a few things about this community and what they get up to. So Wayzata's biggest party is going to be James J. Hill Days. That happens early September after Labor Day every year. It draws about 75,000 people. And that will shut down Main Street all through town. There will be live music, food vendors. There is a carnival for the kids, games, drinks, everything you can imagine. Big old party, parade. That happens in September. Also of note is going to be the Wayzata Art Experience. Now this happens in June. Same thing right on Lake Street. And this will bring about 150 artists, some local, some not. It's a free event, but it's a great chance to walk the street, get something to drink, check out some art, things like that. Probably the last and the most unique of the 3 is going to be the Wayzata Chili Open. And if you like golf, this may or may not be for you. So come February, this actually draws about 2,000 people, and they will get out and play a round of golf right out on the ice in front of Wayzata. Kind of quirky, kind of fun. There's some other stuff that goes along with it. There is a chili cook-off, a snowman building contest, hot cocoa, things like that. But if you live in Minnesota, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, we have 4 seasons, so you got to try and embrace the winter, and that's Wayzata's way of doing it. All right, so we are pretty much on the eastern end of Main Street of Wayzata at this point. Area called the Promenade. This was a multi-block, basically overhaul, completed in 2017. Pretty close to the tune of $350 million. and the end result was pretty spectacular. We are left with a bunch of high-end mixed-use space. You are going to find luxury condos, some senior living, apartments, and then a whole bunch of commercial space. Again, bringing more of those boutiques, shops, and restaurants to the Wayzata area. We are standing dead center in the middle of that area now, and just like the rest of Wayzata, it's nice, it's clean, it's new, nothing not to like. So we're almost done. I'm actually going to start heading back to the other end of town. I saved the best piece for last. I'm going to show you my favorite section of Wayzata here in just one moment, so stick around. So as we make our way back towards downtown Wayzata, I just wanted to show you this as well. This is directly across the street from the Promenade, which is where we just were, as you can see over there. And on the other side of the street, this little strip mall is called the Village. There's actually some pretty sneaky good little restaurants in there. So at the far end behind me, you can't see it, but honestly, one of my favorite spots for sushi in the entire Twin Cities metro area is called Sushi Fix. Man, the amount of meat they pack into these sushi rolls is, well, it's a lot. So something to think about. If you're a sushi person, you might want to check that out. But honestly, most of these little shops in this little strip mall are pretty cool. Village Meats and Deli is a great little deli if you want to grab a quick sandwich. Last place I'm probably going to call out here in this strip mall is right here. This is Baja House. And I'm not going to lie to you, the first time I went, you go to a restaurant in a strip mall, I'm not sure what the expectations is. I was freaking shocked at how good the steak I had there was. So they do everything pretty well in Wayzata, it seems. So I told you I was going to save my favorite part for last. So this is the new Wayzata Boardwalk. This was completed in 2024. This is about a 1,200 foot span that basically runs parallel to Main Street, but out in the water. And I just like it, and I think this is intentional. I just feel like it really gives you a front row seat to the lake and all that it has to offer to get out, enjoy it. It's quiet. And honestly, it's just really cool. I'll turn the camera around here and you can start to see. So we just came through town going from that way to that way, but you can kind of see this gives you a little bit more of a view of downtown Wayzata. You can get a sense for what it looks like. You can see some of those fancy luxury condos up in the background there. So again, just a really neat boardwalk. I believe this was about $11.1 million, and again, very new, completed just last year. So my sailor friends, you will also like Wayzata. The Wayzata Yacht Club actually oversees one of the largest sailboat racing programs in the country, with over 130 boats and over 65 regattas in any given season. And it's usually on Wednesday evenings, and today is a Wednesday. So you can kind of imagine, you give it another hour or two, and suddenly this whole lake is going to be dotted with white sails going on by. Well, I'll tell you what, we're almost back to where I parked, so I'm going to wind this video down. We will definitely have other videos on Wayzata, specifically getting more into the real estate side of things. Fantastic spot, my friends. There is nothing not to like about Wayzata. It brings that lake life culture front and center. It brings walkability, high-end amenities, great access to nature, all the things. So, thank you for joining me as always. My name is Chris. If you haven't already, subscribe below. If you're moving here in 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, we help people like you move here every single day. Drop your questions, drop your comments, drop your sarcasm. Always love to hear from you guys. If there's a video or something you want to see, all you got to do is ask. Just let me know, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.